and talk about text in general.
Okay.
So let me start. First of all, I'm gonna start with the ready-made image. So I'll go to File and Open. Today I'm gonna choose landscape image, not this one. So this is the final image as you saw. And so let me show you what will be the final result. Okay, this is what I'm gonna show you today. I'm gonna save this file, save as, make sure it's Photoshop. And I want to tell you today about this also. You can save a Photoshop image into different files like JPEG and different formats, PNG or JPEG if you would like to have it and you don't have Photoshop in that computer, let's say. It's better to save it as a normal image. Okay, so you can choose JPEG or PNG to Photoshop while you're saving. Now I'm going to choose Photoshop, not this one, PSD, Photoshop. So now, this is the image we have. You're able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, this is my image. And as you saw, I'm going to create a spherical shape in the middle as if it's a floating glass ball. To do that, I'm going to duplicate my layer. You can use the shortcut also, Control J. And I will choose a spherical selection tool in this case. If you don't have this spherical shape, you will need to click and hold and choose the circle one. To have it proportional and equal, I will click Shift. I want to move it, for example, here, or maybe here. Let's keep it there. And I create a new layer and color it black. Okay. And I will click Control D to have to deselect my selection. And I'll go to the image I copied, the original image. And I will go to the filters, distort the image into spherize. Let me see it. Okay, I'm gonna choose normal for this time. As you saw, it is distorted, but it's not a big problem because I'm gonna transform the shape into this circle size. So I will minimize it by clicking shift. Here I'm not clicking shift because I'm just making it equal to the size of the circle. Okay. Now, in order to remove the background, the unnecessary part, the squarish part, I'm gonna click Control on the circle, on the black circle I created to make a selection. So I clicked Control and I clicked on the layer of this circle. And I'm gonna create a clipping mask with this. As you can see, add a layer mask. And this is created. I'm just gonna turn off this layer. And this is the globe we got. Is everything clear for now?
Can you please repeat how you added the clipping mask? What did you do? I couldn't keep up.
Okay, so let me undo. This is what we had. I minimized the image, made it equal to this circle, as you can see. While I am in the layer of the spherized circle, okay, while I'm in this layer, I will click Control to have a selection of this layer, okay, of the circles layer, and click it. Once I click while using Control key, I will have a selection. Once the selection is done, my clipping mask will be as the selection I did. So it might be another, I can even select while I'm in this layer, and my clipping, so I guess someone is talking. Does anybody have a question?
No, I don't think حدا حكى.
Okay. If there is a question and I can't hear, you can text or something. I'll check it.
We can't see your screen anymore. Did we stop sharing?
Yes, to check if somebody sent a message or anything. So, so I was talking about the selection. Once we need to select anything in our layers, we have to click Control and click on that layer. Okay. Once I have a selection, my clipping mask will be only to this selection. And you can make a clipping mask from downwards here, the third. As you can see, it's a square and circle inside. I clicked on this, and this is it. We can simply shut this layer, and you got the ball. But as you can see, it is not very realistic. So we need to add some more filters.
هاي مثل السpherical balls اللي بيستعملوها photographers ياخدوا فيها pictures.
Maybe it is it's like a copy of it, fake ball.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So I'm gonna use another filter which will make my ball a little more realistic using distort and twirl. Here I'm not gonna twirl it much. I'm gonna show you what will happen if I twirl it much, for example. This is what we get. Okay? And of course I'm not gonna twirl this one. If I did do this, look what happens. We don't want this to happen. So what I'm gonna do now is, again, have a selection and go to the filter to distort. Here, as you can see, the twirling is inside the ball and not the circle itself. You got what I did? Instead of twirling all the object itself, instead of making it wavy, the circle, I'm choosing only the part inside of it. And of course, this much is lots. Let's have it around 35. Yes. And okay. And this way it is better. I think some effect. Now I'm gonna add a new layer. And this layer, I'm gonna define the edges of the circle more. Again, I'm gonna make a selection of the circle. So click and this layer. While it's off, you can also have the part selected. It's not a problem. And I go to my brush tool and add some shades here. Make sure your brush is at 0 hardness. Yes. And now I will switch it into white. As you can see, as I have made a selection, my brush is not painting outside, only inside my selection. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe not this much. And deselect. And now it's better. I'm gonna multiply it. Okay. And let's make this opacity a little lighter. Better. How did you find it? Does it look realistic? Let's add a little bit more effects like the shadow of the ball. What we'll need to do is again use the brush, or first of all, we need to add a new layer. New layer and my brush. Yes, here is it. Black. You can paint it anywhere. Okay, it's fine. And now I'm gonna choose the moving tool to adjust its shape. Maybe enlarge it a little bit. In this case, it's not showing lots, according to the picture, of course. I can put it here.
نعمل كتير ونخفف الساتوريشن ونحطه.
نعم.
فينا نعمل سفير ثاني ونحط لونه أسود ونخفف له الساتوريشن.
ما بيكون the edges of the spheres blurry. That's why I chose a brush tool. It's easier. But you can do it. نعم.
إنه فينا نزيد له effects.
Yes, surely you can add effects. I will make a copy of it and show you what it will look like. Ellipse, something like this, black, opacity. It won't look. It is not a fast option, that's why I didn't tell you. Something like this, maybe. But what we have to do is play with this effect and add some other you can use it. You have to add some shadows or blend it. As you can see, the difference is not so good. That's why I didn't tell you. Okay? Yeah, pretty good. You're welcome. As I can't read the chat, that's why I'm stopping my screen sharing. Okay. So this is about the globe. Now I'm gonna talk about. Let me tell you one more thing. Or it's done now. Yes. Now I'll talk about the text. I'm gonna remove the lock. It's easier. So here we have the text tool. As we made the box, we can text in it anything we want. Here we have some fonts. Later on, you can download more fonts for Photoshop if you need, if you're working for professional reasons. Now, let me use this one. From here, you can choose from which side you want to start your text. The size of your text, of course. I'm gonna go with the big one. Of course, you can change it. You can make even bigger, let's say 300. And that'd be fine.
كيف فينا نكتب بشيب يعني مثلا يطلع الكلمات بسيركلر شيب
Yes, I'm gonna reach there. بس هلا at the beginning, let me make a small introduction, okay? Yeah.
اوكي.
I'm just gonna delete this one. So text box, you can enlarge your text size, whatever you want, okay? But as the given in 72, the biggest one, let's go with 100. Okay. Here you can decide the smoothness of the text. Let me type something. And let me tell you how they change. In this font, it's not obvious much. Let's go to another font. Okay. In this font, you have the option of italic, bold, or bold italic, and sharpness. I don't know if you're noticing the sharpness. Let me zoom in and it. None. It's not sharp. And this way, it's sharper. So a little bit of changes. So I'm gonna go, let's stay with this font, it's no problem. You can change the font in this way or choose one by one. I used my downwards arrow key on my keyboard to go to change my font size shape, I mean. Here you have the option of changing the color, and here we have I'm gonna stick the blue one, option of making some style to this, giving some style. For example, arc. You can decide the bending position of the arc. You can decide if one side needs to be distorted or not. You have many controls over it. Let's choose another one. This is a shell shape. Of course, we're not going to do like that. As you can see, it is flexible. If you want to inflate it. Okay, so this is kind of whatever you told me about, how we can add text in a shape, but this is already given shapes. I'm gonna stick to arc, but not like this. Okay, you can even choose if the arc needs to be horizontal or vertical, which helps a lot. Okay, and now since it's in the left beginning, I can choose this sign to make it middle.
الأسود اوكي never mind. فكرت الأسود هو
It was
background.
selection.
Yeah.
No, it was a selection. To know what you had selected. As you have a circle here, let's say, I choose the text tool and click in the circle. As you can see, the symbol of the text tool changes. It's squarish here, so you can create a box for it. And once you move your mouse to the circle, it changes. It gives a circular shape. So once you click in it, your text will be only in the circle. And accordingly, so whatever I type, it doesn't go outside of it, except if I move it. On the side, you have the option of enlarging the circle of the text and not the circle. Okay. Okay. Now I want to show you some effects we can make with text. So this is what we have. For example, you chose this text and you don't want this much space between each letter. You want to insert the letters together. For example, you will need to click Alt and the arrow keys to the right and left. Now I'm clicking the left one. Or add a space between them. For example, I'm clicking Alt and the arrow key to the right. Okay. But you have to choose between which letters you want to play with. For example, I clicked here to move between A and X. If I want to join A and M, I will need to click between A and M and make it touch each other. Or sides. Okay. Or nothing. Nothing at all. if you want to edit the text and add some boldness to it, but you don't have the option to bold it as much as you want. For example, if I choose this text and I go for bold, all the text became bold, but I need to make different colors. So I can't use the bold option. What I need to do is make a selection of this text. I'm gonna make a selection. What I need to do is select pixels from here. What I did is clicking right click on the text and I selected the pixels. Okay. Or as the other ones, clicking Control and on the text layer. And I go to the selection and save my selection. Add the name of it text. What I want to do is add some thickness to this text. I will go to selection, modify, and expand. Expand means expanding the pixels I selected. Okay? And now I'm gonna choose how much pixels I want to add to my text. Here, what I'm gonna do is choose up to 10 maybe, or 5. 5 must be enough. Okay. So now, as you can see, this is not a text anymore. It is just a selection, which was done through a text. And here we can add some color. Let's give it some light colors. And paint. As you could see, I just added some boldness with different color. You can also add different textures to it by make a selection. I will go to modification tool or by right clicking here, double clicking. You can add some outer glow. Since I have a selection, it is not letting me. Okay. I'm gonna change the color to blue, maybe darker blue. Okay. I want a little noise and some brightness. You can blend the mode, but I wanted to keep it as it is because it's a glow outwards. If it was something above it and not outside of the letters, I would have chosen overlay option. I want it to spread a little bit, but size-wise smaller. Okay. Here I did a mistake and not copied my layer or duplicated it. It's okay, I can duplicate the layer, but what happens is I will have the effect with it. So I can simply move the effect and throw it away and just have the layer itself without the outer glow. Just 1 second. Yes, all sessions are recorded. Now, what I want to do is add some glow to this dark blue part. I want to duplicate my layer once again. Oops. So, not outer glow, inner glow. So in this way, we're having an inner glow and not outer glow. As you can see, the dark part started to minimize, but I'm going to choose again light blue and lighten the opacity. Maybe we can change the color into something else, like pink. Not showing. Okay. I'm gonna choose soft overlay. Here I'm choosing what is the best option. I guess this is the option I want to use. So I went with the linear dodge. What I did was I chose an option and went downwards with my key arrow tool. Key arrow, I mean. Okay. In this way, you got a glowy effect. Here you have the option if you want to change the edges or the center of the selection. This goes with, not with just text or also you can use it with any selection you make according to what you want. I guess I'm gonna go with the center one. Softer but not precise. Okay. As if I added a new layer in this way. If you noticed, as if I added another layer or depth to the text. I don't know if you're noticing that. So here is what I can. Is everything going smoothly? You could follow up. Everyone is okay?
Yes, everything is clear.
Okay. Did anybody of you tried anything and they couldn't do? They had some troubles, or everything was fine? I guess everything was fine. I suppose.
أنا عندي شغلة بس ما بعرف إذا موجودة بالفوتوشوب بالإلستريتور.
Yes.
كمان بالكليبينج ماسك في عنا كذا اوبشنز، فبيضايعوا يعني يعني كل اوبشن شو شغلته شو بيعمل. في شيء اكسكلود ويونايت وهالقصص.
And the clipping mask you mean في exclude and unite. ما في بالفوتوشوب بعتقد، بس هذا الشي موجود بالإلستريتور.
اوكي.
Okay. Uh, so this is for text. I don't want to go more into complicated stuff. Also, you have something here which you can choose. So I'm choosing those. Once I chose these, here I have the option to align it with my page. I'm gonna choose this one. I didn't choose all. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't move. Maybe because it's effect and I'm not selecting them. Oh no, this layer I shouldn't have chosen it. Yes, probably. Okay, this one I'm choosing it. It's not moving it. I don't know why. So you can do it one by one maybe. Here. This one is not aligning and I have no clue why. Maybe as it's a text, it's not choosing all. So you can align here with your page as I showed you. And now I want to add another more detail in Photoshop. You have 15 minutes. I wanted to add an affected image, but we won't have time for it. Or let me try to do it. Open. What I'm gonna choose is an image, which is maybe this one. I want to show an effect in this image. But first of all, I want to talk about the brush tool. In brush tool, you have the option of creating your own brush. For example, let's say I have this cloud. I'm gonna open new image. For example, this explosion shape, any one of them. Okay, so let's say I have this one. I can make a selection. I'm gonna use a quick selection tool this time. Yes. As you can see, the background, since it was transparent, it selected only the clouds. Now what I'm gonna do is edit and go to define brush present. and I will name my brush into Cloudy. Okay. In this way, we could create our own brush shape. Once we go to our brush and go downwards, we have now this brush tool. As you can see, it is same as this one. It just selects the outline of the brush. It cannot select the texture or the colors for sure, but it has some opacity control, which is almost wherever it was dark, it is stronger. Once you click several times, it will become more solid color. As you can see, when I clicked once, it is equal to the black parts of the cloud. So once you go and choose darker color, this is what you get if you have a white background for sure. You can control this as size, but not as its hardness. And here, as you can see, it's as if it's the image itself. I just want to paint it white.
Can you drag and hold like click and move around شو بتصير إذا
No,
تضلك
it is a
كابسة
brush tool.
ومدرجة؟
It is
You
same
have to
as a
put them
brush.
one by one.
Yes, you cannot control it. It is just a brush. The only
No قصدي مثل brush. I mean if you want to draw you hold once you select the brush you can write any letter أو شيء ترسم على البrush you move it around and you بتضلك كابس الماوس وبتضلك تحركي بتعملي أشكال وهيك. هون ما فيك
أكيد
تعملي
you can.
شيء تضل الماوس you move around.
This is
Yeah,
what
this is
you
what I
mean.
meant.
You can do it, but let's say you painted this. I'm gonna create a new layer. I did this brush. You can shape it, but as long as it's one, as I did the circle shadow. Okay?
يا مفهوم هيك. هي كأنها صارت هي مثل بدل سيركل براش صار شكلها كلاودي.
Exactly. But as any other brushes, for example, this one, as you can create such shape. Even with this one, you can create anything you want. You can add as much as you want. You can change the size as I showed you. And as I showed you here, once the background is white, you can have exactly the same shape. It's a matter of color and playing with the color, but as it is
Okay,
getting the opacity of it. So this is one. I explained this to you because now I'm gonna use a brush which is not found in Photoshop. You will need to go to Google and download some brushes. For example, if you want to create effect. So in this term, when I have this girl here, I'm gonna make a selection of the face and the girl itself without a background. What I will do is it is not selecting good and use
someone asked إذا فينا نعملها circular ونقدر نتحكم فيها أكثر for
the
the
brush.
frozen brush.
Uh,
Yes, someone
Wait,
asked is we can make it circular and نتحرك أكتر.
change the brush size, shape, you mean? Whoever asked. We cannot change the shape. The aim of the tool is to create a shaped something. For example, like this one, I want to show you an example. Okay, a smoke-like effect. For example, any other effect. For example, this one, an explosion, or maybe some leaves. Okay, it is also used when you want to create an effect with some
يعني هي دايما
butterflies
بتضلها
and
proportional، ما بنقدر نغيرها شكلنا، ما فينا
you
نمغطها
can
أو نصغرها أو نكبرها like نعملها
you
distortion
can
ولا
change the
لا؟
size. No, you cannot wait. Okay, for you to be able to
No,
have
the shape of
control.
it like distorted.
Okay, to be able to have control, you have to create each brush in one layer, and accordingly you can have control and distort it, minimize it. Okay, even you can color it just like any other brush tool. For example, now I'm doing
But
it
it will
black.
work as a brush.
It will work as a brush. Let me show you what you can do with this one. Here, I wanna make a selection. I selected the brush. I'm gonna go with some color and oh, you could see what I did. I just painted it, just like any other option. You can have control as long as you're choosing, you're selecting, and you have made it in different layer. Okay. In terms of shape and color, you can have control, but you have to make each brush uh, in different layer. Is it clear? Or did I explain whatever the question was
Not
about?
not really. And I wanted to see the explosion if you can, for example, like not only change the size, هيك عم تضلها proportional, change its proportions. Can you do that? Can you change its shape?
Drag it, you mean?
Yeah, you can do that as a brush.
You can, yes. But it might not show very realistic image when you're not so professional. So it is recommended for you to look for a brush you want to. For example, what? No. Someone was asking anything or no? Okay, where is the brush? I want to show you more, for example, about the brush. Okay, let's choose what did you want. For example, touch leaves. I can change the color. Okay, and I can make it bigger. Okay. Your question is if I can distort these ones, right? You have to make a selection. Once you have made a
Yes.
selection, you will need to go to filter, and distort. Maybe some, not this one. Wait, I guess.
So basically قبل ما
Okay.
احولها لبرش بعمل عليها كل الادجستمنتس اللي بدي اياها وبعدين بحولها لبرش.
It is preferable to create a brush according to what you want to work with. يعني if you want to shape it, for example, I don't this one. Okay, for example, this leaf here. Okay, we have painted it, and I want to make some adjustments on this one. I need to erase the other ones here. Okay, and work one by one. Work separately. Here, it seems as if there is something more leftovers. Okay, so this is one tool, and for example, you want to make some changes, you need to have a selection. It's not selecting. Okay, this is a selection we made. In case you want to make the leaf larger, we need to go to filter, not filter, I mean modify and expand. You can go by 5 and just color, for example, this part.
ما فينا نحسن الريزوليوشن؟
Umbrella. But you need to create a pencil. You need to create a vector shape, and accordingly, it will be better in resolution. Or you will need to go to the filter. Just 1 second. Okay, from here. For example, I wanna add this. Okay. I made this a little bit, for example, distorted in this way. Not distorted, this is just made it bigger. Okay, and if you want to filter it, you can go to noise and reduce noise. And in this way, it will become better in resolution. Basic, keep it basic. It has made a little bit better, but once you have created yourself the vectors and the shapes, it will automatically be better. For example, using this pen tool, it will automatically be better in resolution. Okay. For example, I can enlarge this and draw it by using this tool. I guess you all know this by now, I suppose. Okay. Fine, I think.
Teacher, the Najwa asked again, إنه we use the pen tool to make a shape, then we change it at the brush, right? So we use the pen tool to make a shape, بعدين نعمل
Yes. Or you can
okay.
choose anything. For example, this rock here, you can make a selection of it. Where is the selection tool here? Okay, this is my selection. I can simply go to my edit and refine brush present. Okay, so this is what the shape of my brush will look like. Or I can simply choose this cloud here, or I don't know what, anything. It might be a tree, it might be a shape, it might be even text. Here's the text option. Even an eye, maybe. Let's try. But it's not gonna look like an eye, no. Maybe lips, but it's not gonna look like no. So it, you have to think like it's a plain shape, and it could be text. It could be
Okay.
or any other object. Something you don't need to change the color, because if you need to change the color lots, it's better to work as a clipping mask with it and not as a brush to have more control. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I guess we're done. Thank you all for watching. Thank you.